Sabah al-Khair, good morning dear listeners. You're listening to Radio 3CR on 855 AM and Palestine Remembered with Robert Martin, Nasser Mashni and Yusuf Ahmed al-Rimawi.
Palestine Remembered is Australia's only English-language radio program that is totally dedicated to Palestine. We'd like to welcome those listening on 855 and those that will join us on podcast at 3cr.org.au.
Thanks for joining us. Stay with us and enjoy the episode.
I'm delighted to be joined today by a member of the Palestinian community of Melbourne, Abir Al-Mubayyad. Abir, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm really glad that you have.
Abir, you are going to talk to us about an interesting project, but before that, tell us about who Abir is.
I'm a Palestinian who was born and raised in the United Arab Emirates. I was born in 1993. I migrated to Australia in 2006, and ever since we've been living in Australia as skilled migrants.
So you came with your family?
Yes, I came with my family. So both my parents were born and raised in Gaza Strip, and then they migrated to Dubai, and that's where I was born, and the rest of my brothers and sister. And then we all came to Australia in 2006. And ever since then, we've been in Australia, and we've kind of adapted to the life here. But yeah, my studies are basically, I did international relations at RMIT because I was super passionate about Palestine and still am. And then I did a graduate certificate in Australian immigration law and practice to become a migration agent and to help refugees and asylum seekers settle here in Australia. And then I did a Master of Translating and Interpreting, and the list goes on.
So we have a competition here.
Probably.
Good. So interpreting, translation in which language? Arabic, English? Or?
Yes, Arabic to English, English to Arabic.
Fantastic.
And I'm currently studying law, doing Juris Doctor at RMIT.
That's excellent. Tell me about your degree in international relations. To what extent this shaped your understanding to the Palestinian issue? Of course, it has added to you in terms of knowledge, but when it comes to a Palestinian who is passionate about Palestine, by definition, doing a degree in international relation, what kind of weapon you're equipped with?
I guess the best weapon is knowledge, and knowledge what to do in conflict zones and the politics and how leaders in general kind of try to resolve an issue. And, you know, how the United Nations tried to resolve it. But unfortunately, at RMIT, they didn't really focus much on the Middle East for some reason. At RMIT, they were focused more on the Asia-Pacific area. But I still did.
Because it's an area of strategic importance to Australia, more than Middle East.
Yeah. There was another course that Deakin University did that was more focused on the Middle East. But unfortunately, I didn't know about this until too late. But I totally enjoyed the international relations course at RMIT. It was just amazing to kind of know about diplomacy and politics and economics in general. But I also work in the non-for-profit sector. I work as a migration agent, and all I do 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, is help refugees and asylum seekers settle here in Australia. So, for example, I'd be filling out a lot of refugee applications to allow families to unite back here in Australia after being torn apart because of war in Syria and Iraq. So most of my clients are Syrian and Iraqi. And yeah, some of them are asylum seekers here in Australia. So,
did you see any of Palestinian clients?
Yes, I did. Actually, the Palestinian clients that I had such a sad events happened to them. They left Palestine in 1948 and then went to Iraq to resettle there. And after the Iraqi war happened, so they had to leave to go to another country. They went to Syria, and then from there they were able to come to Australia. But they were lucky enough to get into Syria and be able to come to Australia. So the things that I heard from their stories were just really heartbreaking. I didn't actually know that Palestinians were able to come to Australia as refugees, but there's only a specific small number of them that were able to come because they had gone from one country to another to be able to be called a refugee.
So, Abir, tell me about EAPPI project and why you wanted to take part in this.
Okay, so the EAPPI project stands for Economical Accompaniment Program in Palestine and Israel. It is basically an organization here in Australia called Act for Peace that is contracted with the World Council of Churches in Jerusalem. What they do is they allow young people from Australia and actually all around Europe and America to go to Palestine and specifically Jerusalem and the West Bank to be there as protective presence for the Palestinians and to be able to help them in many different ways. So their main job is to be there as non-violence presence to help the Palestinians feel safe in that area because of the continuous violence that happens and grows against the Palestinians.
So did you apply? Were you approached? How did you find out about them?
So I found out about this program through a friend of mine at work. Her daughter had actually done this project, and she told me about it, and I was super fascinated because I wanted to go to Palestine in any way, shape, or form. I have gone there very, very long time ago, more than 17 years back, and
before you migrated to Australia.
Yeah, before I even migrated to Australia. So I felt like this is an amazing way to go back and help Palestinians and, people from my country. And it was just an amazing thing. So I thought, why don't I just apply? So I applied, and then we had to go through a selection process. And basically we needed to go on a camp for 5 days and go through a role play of, what would you do if you were if you were an EA in that area during a Palestinian protest? What would you do, if the adhan has just gone off? So it was amazing and it was interesting. Or, for example, another thing was, please go to this house demolition and report it for us because we need to send this report to the United Nations team in Geneva. So it was amazing to kind of see all of this. It was acting, but it really touched my heart, and I felt like this is such an amazing experience, and I really want to go and be a part of it in real life. Even though it had really broken my heart to be a part of that role play, I still wanted to go to Palestine. For some people, I know that it may deter them from doing that because of they've seen something and it's so super close to their heart that they wouldn't go ahead and do it in real life. But to me, I seriously still want to, and I have that urge of wanting to go back to Palestine to help these people in any way, shape or form. So
the idea is to basically protect the Palestinians in their daily life and try to create a human barrier between occupation or settlers and the Palestinians. So while you want to achieve that, but you don't want to expose yourself to danger, how do you balance between the two? So what we were taught in the camp is that we would be wearing the World Council of Churches vest, and that vest basically protects us. But obviously we all know that this vest is not like God, for example, you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to really, really protect us. But the other thing they taught us is that we have to be impartial while we are there, even if we have such strong views and opinions about what's happening. We can't really show that. We have to be impartial, and we can't show so much emotion, so that when we come back to Australia, we have that first-hand eyewitness experience for us to talk about it here, rather than trying to expose them over there. So are the participants members of the Palestinian community, or any Australian can apply? They're actually members of. They're not members of the Palestinian community. They're all
I'm the only Palestinian there,
right.
actually. It's
Fantastic.
interesting.
So you're our ambassador.
They found it actually super interesting to find another Palestinian go through the program. I thought it was phenomenal to see all these people from so many different backgrounds wanting to know about the issue and wanting to go there and see what's happening for themselves. And I found it super impressive after the role play that they were very empathetic to what's happening in Palestine. Yes, some of them did have an impartial view, but obviously this is something that we have to respect. And obviously after going there, they may have a different view. Regardless, I'm going there for a specific mission, which is to see and help Palestinians.
So we're talking to Abir Al-Mubayyid, the Palestinian activist in Melbourne, and after the break we will continue the discussion. Abir, you are our guest of honor today, so you get to choose the song.
Oh.
So I didn't prepare you.
Yeah, no, you didn't. So English or Arabic?
You choose.
I love Mawtani.
Mawtani?
Yeah, it's amazing.
So
yeah.
we are going to listen to Mawtani, the informal national anthem of Palestine. When we will be back, we will continue talking with Abir Al-Mubayyid. Stay with us.
الجلال والجمال والسماء والبهاء في رباء في رباء والحياة والنجاة والهناء والرجاء في هواء في هواء هل أراك سالما منعما وغانما مكرما سالما منعما وغانما مكرما الشباب لن يكل همه أن يستقل أو يميل نستقي من الردى ولن نكون للعبيد لا نريد ذلنا المؤبدا وعيشنا المنكدا ذلنا المؤبدا وعيشنا المنكدا لا نريد بل نعيد مجدنا التلي موطني الحسام واليرى الكلام والنزاع رمزنا مجدنا وعهدنا وواجب إلى الوفاء
Mawtani is the informal national anthem of Palestine. It was written in the early 30s by the Palestinian poet Ibrahim Touqan. And during the revolution, the Grand Revolution of 1936 against the British Mandate, the Palestinian kind of endorsed it as their national song. It was not composed back then, but it was lyrics and poem But after 48 and the loss of the land and the expulsion of most of people, and there was no Palestinian state, the lyrics were picked by the Lebanese composers Ahmed and Mahmoud Fleifel. They composed it into what we have listened to now, and it became the song of Pan-Arabism. It was played in the official broadcast of Syria, Jordan, Iraq, Egypt, Lebanon, and other Arab countries, but not as an anthem, not as a national anthem. In 1972, PLO endorsed another poem by Hisham Limzayin, Fidai, to be the national anthem, because it reflected back then the spirit of armed struggle, and it remained the current national anthem of Palestine, Fidai. After 2003, when there was change in regime in Iraq, the new Iraq regime re-endorsed Mawtani, and currently Mawtani is the national anthem of Iraq. So this is a bit of context, and we will continue with our guest Abir Al-Mbayid. You're listening to Palestine Remembered on 855 AM and on our podcast 3cr.org.au/podcasts. And our guest today is Abir Al-Mubayyid. Ahlan wa sahlan, Abir. Thanks
Thank
again
you.
for joining us.
Thank you.
Before the break, you were telling us about the EAPPI, Economical Accompaniment Program in Palestine and Israel. How did I go?
You went really well. Good job.
I was a little bit stressed that I could. It's easy to make mistakes.
It's a big one, yeah.
So, and you told me that this is they prepare Australian activists or volunteers to say or participants to go to Palestine/Israel and basically try and protect the Palestinians in their daily lives. And you did some form of training, but I want to ask you about the time. Is there a designated time? Is it a group project, or you will be sent one by one? What's the mechanism?
So it basically depends on when you can, when you're ready to. Obviously, you have gone through all the fundraising and the sponsorship, and obviously, when you have the needed specific amount of money, then you'll be able to go. But when you go, you are not just with Australians, you're with people from all over Europe as well, and so you will be able to mix and match with people from all over.
So you still don't know the time?
No, you don't know, and you're there for 3 months. So so it's a really significant long time in Palestine, and it's amazing to kind of be in that place for a very long time, because then you have enough time to go through every single scenario that could come through, and you have enough time to form an opinion about what's happening, so that you can come back and have eyewitness experience and come back here and talk about it to everybody.
Well, it goes without saying that the door is open for you when you come back to share your stories and experience with us. But I want to ask you if you also had the chance to speak to former participants who took part in this project, and what kind of feedback you heard.
Oh, it was amazing. So we had quite a few former participants that came to the camp.
From Australia?
In Australia, yes. One of them is half Palestinian, half Egyptian, actually. She went there and she absolutely loved it. She told me a lot about her experience there, and actually, one of the incidents that happened, they really broke her heart. And when she came back, she was actually in tears while she was telling us the story about a Palestinian boy who was just under the age of 18, who was bashed to death by an Israeli settler and Israeli soldier. So it was really sad to kind of, for her to be in the house of the Palestinian people at that time, and to try to calm the families down. And then the families are really devastated, and also they're waiting for their son's body to come back, because they had taken his body. So they were extremely devastated, and for her that was just a turning point in the whole issue of Palestine. And it was really hurtful to even hear it from her. So.
But does tragic things like this prevent people like her to go again, or does it encourage her?
Absolutely not. She encouraged me so much to go. She said, I will do everything I can do for you to be there in that country, because it's really a life-changing experience, especially for people that open their hearts and open their minds to what's happening in that area.
Is there something else about the project that I did not ask you about you want to share with us?
So yeah, the kind of work that we'll be doing there is as simple as holding the hand of a Palestinian little boy to go through a checkpoint to make sure that he's at his school safe. Even counting the number of the Palestinians going through checkpoints to make sure there's enough people that are going through checkpoints and that it's safe for them. Protecting the community in general, making daily blogs and reports, making campaigns and researching on daily basis, going to house demolitions and making these reports and sending them to the United Nations team in Geneva. So I feel like it's just such an amazing job to kind of be there as eyewitness experience, so that we can send this super hot information to the rest of the world.
Including us, because we still here have deficit in news when it comes to Palestine, not to mention the misrepresentation. So there is less and misrepresentation of the Palestinian stories in Australia, and with people like you who will come back with first-hand stories, first-hand experience, we are very thirsty to stories like that. So I definitely feel the importance, and it's very worthy, not to mention the humanitarian impact that you will leave, and also the byproduct, which is basically you see your country, you get to know people, you probably improve your language and relation, culture, and you know what it means to be in Palestine. I'm talking as a person who has never been to Palestine, but I can relate to...
it's amazing to see how much you love that place even though you have never been there. And I went there when I was really, really young. I was probably 6 years old, and I still feel like my heart is in that place. I feel like if I ever have the chance to go back to Palestine and live there for the rest of my life, I would never ever say no. I would love to go there and pray in the mosque, Al-Aqsa Mosque, every single day. I would never say no to that.
Abir, you are originally from Gaza.
Yes.
And
correct.
I want to ask you about the latest wave of hostilities against the people of Gaza last week. How did you feel personally when you wake up and see or hear news that your beautiful Gaza is being attacked again?
Yeah. You feel like somebody's kicked you in the gut, really. I actually did my thesis while I was studying at RMIT doing international relations about the attack that happened in 2008 to 2009 and the use of internationally banned...
Gas-led operation.
Bombings and all that in Gaza, and just the effect that it had on people in general, let alone my grandmother and her house. And I've got uncles and aunties. I've got a big circle of family living in that area still. So it's just the constant struggle to feel like you're a human being living here in Australia in safety, but at the same time you're constantly heartbroken and you feel the unsafety of your people back home. It makes you feel like you're living but you're dead, really. And
there's so much void.
Yeah, absolutely. And it really breaks you on a daily basis. Especially when things like that continue to happen, it makes you feel like this place still needs our help, and it's constantly crying and really, really needs us. But it's super sad to see a lot of people turning a blind eye. But this is when I come out, the new generation coming out, wanting to make people aware of what's happening in that area of the world, and I feel like it's my passion. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Abir, no, this pain, this sadness, this anger, this frustration, all this negative feeling, it's important that I'm sure you and other people other Palestinians, and especially Palestinians from Gaza, know how to translate that into something good for the
Positive.
cause and positive. In your case, what do you do to translate that into something positive? And if that is the case, what is it? What is it, that positive thing?
I think for many, many years, that the only way I was dealing with it is, talking to my dad about it, talking to my family about it, and try to come to a better resolution within the family to, be able to help in the least way, which is to go for protests, to make people aware around us, to, make sure that there's a Palestinian flag in my room. This is the least I can do as a Palestinian. But I think when I came across this project, I thought this is amazing and this is exactly what I needed. Other than studying all about international relations and wanting to have a voice and to, be the voice of these people that don't have one here, that don't have one there in Palestine, here in Australia, I think this particular project will make me, it will be an eye-opener. It will be me in the form of all the help that we wanted to get to the Palestinians for many, many years, to be there in that particular place and to help them with my presence there. And I feel like this is the best thing I can do.
So how do we know more about this project? Is there some website you want to share with us?
Yes. So the website is www.eappI.actforpeace.org.au/Abby, ABBY.
Let's repeat it again slowly.
Oh, sorry, I'm too fast. So that's www.eappI.actforpeace.org.au/Abby, ABBY. I would really appreciate if you can go on my page, and even before going to my page, you can go into the actual eappI.actforpeace.org.au to find out more about the program, and to help me get to that place. That would be amazing.
And when you come back, you'll let us know.
Absolutely. So you'll probably be one of the first people to know about me coming back. So when I come back, I will talk all about the experiences that I had in Palestine.
We'll definitely have many more episodes.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll be delighted to see you. But I want to end this enlightening. The time has come, unfortunately, with a message from you, from Abir, to the people of Palestine who might be listening to us now. If there is a Palestinian in الضفة الغربية, في غزة, في القدس, في المخيمات, what do you say to them, Abir?
I'd like to say that just because we live in a Western country super far away from you doesn't mean that we have forgotten that we have a home country, which is Palestine. And we still feel your pain. We still hear all about it, and we feel gutted, and we really want to be there with you. And this is basically my best way of doing it, is to come through this program.
Well, with this, we have come to the end of this interview. Thank you very much, Abir, for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
And we will be looking forward to talking to you upon your return, inshallah, with more stories.
Absolutely.
With this, we have come to the end of this week's episode of Palestine Remembered. Do tune in next Saturday, 9:30 in the morning. Until then, this is Yusuf, Nasser and Robert, who are not today with us, my co-hosts, wishing you the best of time and salam.